Peace and love, everyone. My name is Sister LeTava Mabilijengo. I was invited to participate in this virtual Juneteenth by Sister Yuzuri and Brother Bashiri Assad. So thank you all for having me with you. Some of us are coming together from our homes or various remote locations, and I have to applaud us for taking a moment of pause to be together today. My message to share for Juneteenth 2020 is one of triumph. A lot of people may wonder what is there to celebrate about Juneteenth in the year 2020 with so much socio-political unrest going on in this country and around the world, where probably now more than ever there is cause for celebration, because never before have we lifted our voices together, not in this country, all 50 states, and said, hell no, no more. Never before have the words being sick and tired of being sick and tired got up and walked out the door and forced change to come. Never before, not even during the Civil War, never before have we lit the fire of insisting we will win, that we will raise our voices of change and justice to overcome obstacles and oppression that has happened worldwide in unison. And I gotta say, I love it. I freaking love it. I think that this is one of those times where saying hell no had a magical moment, and Juneteenth is an ideal time to just press pause and take a moment to bask in the glory of hell no. It's one of those moments where when you've had enough, and it actually is enough to make a difference. There are those people who are obligated to say the right things, and we see that shit happening all the time. But then there are those people who are committed, and it is the committed people who sparked the change of Juneteenth. It is the committed people that continue the change of Juneteenth 2020. Those of us who are committed that no matter what, we will push forward. We will not be silenced. We will continue to bring about that change in the face of all sorts of amazing obstacles, all sorts of pushback, blowback, penalties, and punishment. We will continue forward because Juneteenth is the ultimate spirit of resistance. It is the spirit of resistance in the face of insult to injury. It is the spirit of resistance in the face of injustice when policy had changed, but practice had not. But now we stand in a place where we have to applaud. We have to applaud those who came before us, and they cut that path wide open. We have to applaud the young people who were bold enough, enraged enough to say not only will we take that path, we'll set that path on fire. They are literal trailblazers. And I have to applaud them. And I have to continue to light the fire under those of us who are my peers, the generation of the generations, who have to stand in support of and continue to fight alongside of those who are bold enough to speak out against injustices. And if that is not the spirit of Juneteenth, I don't know what is. So the fact that we've taken time, the fact that we've paused in our moment, this is a good time to make sure that we are all in accord. We don't all have to do the same job, but we do all have to be moving towards the same goal, and that is to squash out injustices in the spirit of Juneteenth. We have to take it upon ourselves to recalibrate our social circles. We have to take it upon ourselves to realign our own lives, to make sure those things reflect the best of who we are. Those things reflect how we intend to move forward into our tomorrows. Juneteenth is an ideal time to take a quick self-assessment of ourselves, our families, our community, and our friends. The problem is, racist policies are written by racist people, and racist people exist because we give them shelter. We give them places of refuge. So those of us who decide that we are going to align ourselves with what we know to be right, to be just, to be the spirit of which we want to move forward, to be part of our own individual legacies, then we'll have to right those wrongs together. So Juneteenth is a perfect time to consider exactly what that means. And that means we can't just check ourselves, we have to check our friends. We can't just check our friends, we have to check our families. And we can't just check our families, we have to check the intentions we set forth for the future generations. How we are cultivating our young, how we are nurturing our children, how we are choosing to bring forth new life. Juneteenth is a perfect time for that. Many people think there's nothing to celebrate, but we got a lot to celebrate. We can celebrate the fact that finally, in this country, you cannot blatantly and openly commit acts of racial injustice and expect to go silently and anonymously home for dinner. We can celebrate the fact that we do know that big corporations who have been allowed to ignore the wealth that they have largely amassed by ignoring racism, they can't do that anymore. We can celebrate the fact that, very much so like our ancestors suggested, we did lift every voice. Everybody had to be heard. No matter what side of this thing they were standing on, all voices were raised. And finally, systemic racism did not get the anonymity of silence. It could stop being this hushed, quiet killer. So, that is something we can celebrate during this Juneteenth 2020. If that doesn't light your fire, come talk to me later. I got a lot more stories I could tell you about. But I hope you all are as committed now, Juneteenth 2020, as our ancestors had to be then. I know I am. You all have a great evening. Peace and love.